El Haj, how are you? The first to come up on the podium. Amritpal, hello there. How are you? Always second. It's good. Amritpal, where are you now? Which part of the world are you tuning in from? I know El Haj is in what? UK, or are you in New Jersey, in States? Remind me, guys. Where are you tuning in from and age? Canada. Amritpal, you in Canada? Really? Didn't know that. Where are you in Canada? Hey Joey, how are you? Thank you, Amritpal. 23 Toronto. Okay, good. We're beginning to be kind of visible to Canadians. Like we have now maybe 4 or 5 people who have participated in the live talks from Canada, but mostly from States, UK, and you know, European countries, and some from, you know, quite a number from India as well. I mean, sometimes Australia, but in Canada, where I'm actually located, hardly have any. So let's see how long it takes for us to fill up our screen today. Looks like the rest of the usual crowd are unavailable. Are we Canadians? Are we? Are we really? Joey says, I broke up with my girlfriend 1 month ago and was very broken, heartbroken. But thanks to your advice, my life is great without her. Okay, good. Good to see you're strong and back on track. Remember the videos that you like, share them, click on the like, and also make sure the bell button is pressed and the option always alert me is chosen, so you'll always know when we have a live stream, and also helps the channel to be recognized. You know, the YouTube algorithm and all that likes the comments and likes and all that, so share them so more people will get to know. Loti, London, lady 39, good to see you, dear. El Haj says 23 from Canada? No. You said 23 from, but you didn't say where. Next word is CAN. I thought it's Canada. He says, can a girl like something about you that makes her want no one else except you? That's usually the case in, you know, when boyfriend and girlfriends get together, they each find something exclusive, special about each other, which would almost always, not almost always, it will be something in their behavior, mentality, the way they communicate, the way they connect with each other, and nothing about the physical. Well, you know, physical part, boys, yeah, and men would be infatuated with the beauty and the physical appearance of a woman, but that too, even that will have a duration. And then if there's no real find in the character and mentality of the girlfriend, doesn't matter how beautiful she is, that would not be the reason for the boyfriend wanting the girlfriend and nobody else. Only when you bond on consciousness level and become compatible in the real way, then is when the actual, that desire of wanting only to be with that girl is really born in you. Otherwise, aesthetics are always attractive, but it's only has a you know, a time span, a duration, limited duration. Unless you keep renewing your bond and grow together, there would be no real reason for one to think that that's the only girl or that's the only guy that they would want to be with and no one else and all that. If you feel that way about a girl that you just met and you don't really know each other, that's basically lust and how you're put together. You want to desire a woman and that's in your gene, in your program, but it's really nothing that you can say, oh, you found the love of your life because she looks so good. That's only temporary. You got to go deeper in that and connect on consciousness level, and then you too may actually do find that one thing or few things that makes you not to be with anybody else but that one person that you're with. Let's see what changes we have here while I was talking. Sandy says, good evening, Mehran. Hello, Sandy. Breakups and how to move on is a good heading. Yeah, I think so too. So let's see how that goes. Now, everybody, before you forget, click on like the screaming. I mean, not screaming. Streaming. Yeah, I can hear you all screaming from the other end. The streaming. Just click like before you forget. And if we have any one of those weirdos, I'm sure he or she will go and click the thumbs down as usual. We always have, sometimes have one or two, and it's usually the same people. So, having said that, go ahead, click on like, and make sure that you support the channel in that way. Wesley says, Mehran, I love you, but you missed my text. Text here, oh, I'll look for it, don't worry. And El Haj is from Minnesota. Oh yeah, I can see your screen emblem thingy here. There it is. Wesley says, hey Mehran, I messed up big time. Did you now? Join the club. I contacted my ex after 4 months of no contact. She never gave me closure. Now she ignored me completely. Greetings from Germany, male, 30 years old. Guten Tag, Wesley. Wie geht's heute? Obviously, you're feeling like shit. Scheiße, yeah? But es ist normal. Es ist normal. We all go through this thing. So what you have done here, firstly, remind me, Wesley, what part of Germany you're tuning in from, and oh, here it is. The rest of it is right here. It says, greeting from Germany, male, 30 years old. Okay, thank you very much for that information. I appreciate it. Wesley, what you have done is that you are looking for something that has got no meaning and no use. That word closure. Closure for what? What do you guys mean closure? Closure is just a state you create in your own mind to satisfy yourself that I'm okay, I'm affirmed, nothing has come off of me, nothing has been diminished. It's not like she dissed me. We just weren't compared. All these nonsense that you make for yourself as if you need that to still feel, or as if it's important for you in reality that she somehow is not dissing you, or is still affirms you, or she's not dissatisfied with you, or you're still good because she wants you or likes you, or she's not, or the fact that she's left you doesn't mean that somebody else is better than you. All these things are going into your mind, and you think you need her permission, or you need her forgiveness, or you need some kind of a reason to justify why it didn't work. You don't need to justify why it didn't work. It just sometimes doesn't work. Most often, if it's long enough, duration of a relationship long enough, it will not work unless these two have actually, during the time that they were infatuated with each other, they liked each other and they were having good times, or a peacetime, so to speak, they tried to get to know the real each other. And they steered away from just being satisfied and settling with knowing and interacting with each other's image. As you know, as we talked about it before, every one of you, every one of us, have a certain kind of an image of ourselves in our own mind. And we are constantly in pursuit of upping that image, becoming more in that fictitious, illusory image, because we've been conditioned ever since childhood to have to be more, to be recognized. When we're compared, we should be more, so we'll compare good. The teachers compared us, you know, so and so gets good grades, so and so has got such a good backpack, or you know, she or he is polite, and this and that, always being compared. Or in your parents, with your siblings compared you, with somebody else's daughter or son they compared you. In sports, you're always being compared. Hierarchy in school as far as who got the better grade and all that. Always, this has been part of your conditioning to grow up and want to become more for many reasons, because you have been brainwashed to think to be more is to by attaining things or doing things, and then that would make you more, rather than actually trying to find out how your psyche works. To be able how to negotiate in a balanced way your life, your day-to-day life. Instead, you've been busy just to bring yourself to be more shown and to look that as compared to the others that you're more, rather than compared to yourself how you can advance and become a better version of yourself. So your focus has always been on the wrong thing, to be more. Now that you are actually becoming aware that you are negotiating the world, your life, through an image you have of yourself, you're still trying to make that image a little better image, be a more image, a different kind of image as you go along. So even the fact that you are really not focusing on getting to know yourself, and you're not really interacting with other people through your center, through the real you with the real them, and that you're negotiating life and your connections, interactions, relationships are between your image and the your partner's image, you're still trying to be more in the image, the illusory image. You still have the same conditioning. Once you realize this, and you simply say, I don't want to deal with world through image, then you'll be free. You will neither think it's important for you to be more than the others, nor will you be focusing on what kind of image you have, how you should fluff it so it would look good in your own mind about you, and in her mind about you, and that will all disappear. and you will become free and very light to actually elevate and advance in life based on what it is that interests you and you find important as part of your tool to become more positive and helpful and affect the community and societies that you live in a positive manner. That's how you become more. Instead, you're trying to cater to a certain image you have of yourself in your mind and do things by having this girlfriend or having this thing or that thing in order to make yourself feel good because you have created a better image of yourself in your mind because you have attained this, you bought this, you got this girlfriend, and you got this affirmation, and she's okay with you even though she broke up with you, so you still have a good image of yourself in your mind. It's all about that. Otherwise, there is no need for closure. You want the closure because you want to have a better image of yourself in your mind, because right now, you don't have a good image of yourself. You know, the funny thing is that you, Wesley, are the same person as you were before you had this girlfriend, during you have this girlfriend, after this girlfriend broke up with you. Nothing has come off of you. Nothing has been diminished from you. You're still just as good or just as bad, just as intelligent or not, just as expert in something or not, just as interesting or not. Nothing has been changed in you. What has changed is the image that you have or you had of yourself about you in your own mind. And this breakup has made you now see yourself, feel about yourself, about the image you had of yourself differently. And for that, you're striving and struggling to get that image that you had of yourself a few months back before breakup. And you think that has to do with if she would still give you a closure, a reason, a justified reason. What reason? What reason do you need? There's somebody from out there who basically is dealing and negotiating life with her own image of herself in her own mind, giving you some kind of a excuse or justification why she doesn't want to be with you, so you will feel good about the image you have of yourself in your mind. Isn't that ridiculous? You're not an image. Shed all that image out. Focus on you, because you haven't changed. It still reflects the light the same, still thinks the same. Nothing has come off of you because she does or does not like you, or this one or that girl, or you get them or you don't get them. Nothing. That's only the department of ego and desire and the order and your mechanical process and how you fluff yourself through fulfilling your desire. It has nothing to do with you as a person, as a center, as your consciousness, as how you have developed yourself in this life, what you have learned, the experiences you've had, they're all still there. So what is it that you think this closure, the reason she will give you? So what is it going to be? You didn't buy me a flower, or you were rude to me, or what? All it is that her psyche, her consciousness is different than yours, and everybody's consciousness is different than everybody else's. And on that connection, it wasn't compatible. What she expected from life and from outside of herself rather than from herself was not something that she could get from you. And that by itself is not a reflection on you. It's a reflection on her, because she is trying to gain happiness and comfort and satisfaction and contentment through a relationship, which means through the boyfriend's efforts and interaction, not through her own understanding of how to negotiate life, not through her own merits and her own efforts and her own understanding and elevation in knowing what life is all about, how her life should be, where she wants to go, how you want to go there, and so on and so forth. So it's a reflection on her. So her consciousness is put together differently. The content of her consciousness is different than yours. And eventually, after that initial time of maybe a few months or a year or 2 years passed, and all the relationship has been based on physical interaction and appreciation and exchange, Then they realize that there is no compatibility. They don't know each other because they never tried to get to know each other's consciousness. Therefore, they figure out, I'm now happy. Why? Because you never tried to have a relationship with each other, the center of yourselves, the who you are. But only she tried to have a relationship with, how you look like, what you have, where you take her, and you try to have a relationship with her, how she looks like, and what fun you guys have, how she smiles at you, what things you can do to make her pleased, and the sex and intimacy and parties, drinking here, all on things that are just pictorial, illusory, imagery, in comparison to how other people are, and you want to present yourself in a certain different light, an image and a painting to them, so they would think of you in a certain way that you would like him to think of you, and for that you strive to have a certain image by being together, by doing certain things. So that is really not a relationship between you two. It's a relation between the two images you have of each other in each other's mind, and the image you have of yourselves in your own mind, and the image you have of the others, and how you want the others to have an image of you in their mind. So it's all bullshit. Now you want a closure on that. You just got one. The closure is nonsense. The consciousnesses were not working together, could not know each other, did not know each other, could not be compatible. So it doesn't work. And it's always going to be the same as long as the relationship is only based on part of what is important in relationship: sex, a physical appearance, physical exchange, money, comfort, and all that. These are just things that are on different levels of necessity for different people. But it's got nothing to do with the two people actually knowing each other and interacting as a team, as a couple, as a unit, in order to negotiate life and its challenges and opportunities together. That's not why most of the people get together. They get together to see what the other one's going to do for them, how the other one is going to cause them to be happier in life, because they can't get it themselves. And because they can't do it themselves, they expect somebody else who doesn't know them as good as they know themselves to bring that happiness that they couldn't bring it for themselves. How stupid is that? That's why most relationships don't work, because they come into the relationship to be happy through the other person's efforts and interaction with the other person. You gotta be happy, find yourself, and understand your own psyche and your path in life, what you like and what you want to accomplish and what makes you be content before you get into a relationship. If you're getting into a relationship to be happy, that never happens, because the other one is also getting into a relationship to be happy herself. And both of you thinking you're getting into a relationship to be happy. Two people who couldn't be happy are getting together hoping the other one, who couldn't be happy either, make this one happy now. How dumb is that? Let's be happy first. Understand where happiness comes from. Understand your own psyche, which for that you got to go to my site, mind@sixtruth.com, and pick up that Me, My Psyche, and I, the ebook. Now, plug in the middle. And then, once you know yourself the way you should know yourself, ponder about life. Ponder about what it is you want to accomplish. What makes you happy? What is happiness? When you have all these understanding, then you know you are there in a relationship for the relationship. Not that you're in a relationship to find happiness, to be who you want to be, to advance and be content with life. All those things should be found outside the relationship, on yourself, on your own. When you come into a relationship, that's a different game. That's a relationship. Bring the best of you in there, and she brings the best of her in there. And that is when you guys already found contentment, happiness, your path in life. And then you can see you will be focused on fun, physical, and mental, understanding each other's mind, because there is no other agenda. Because you're not trying to find happiness through pleasure that comes from a relationship. Because pleasure brings satisfaction, fulfills desire, and your ego is fluffed, And you think pleasure brings happiness. That's why when pleasure ends or becomes a routine or nothing new anymore in a relationship, you think that relationship is no longer happy. Because all the things that were joyful in the relationship, when you began the relationship, you turn them into, I want more of this joy. You turn them into, I want to make sure that this will happen every day. And then after a while, that was no longer joy. It turned into pleasure. And pleasure became the routine. And that became the gateway to boredom. And then suddenly you guys are bored from each other and there's no more happiness because you thought happiness comes from pleasure. Pleasure is pleasure. Pleasure is not necessarily bringing happiness. Pleasure brings fun, maybe. Pleasure is not a source of intelligence. Don't think that the more pleasure you have, the smarter you are. Pleasure is not smart. Pleasure is not intelligence. Pleasure is not happiness. Pleasure is not contentment. Pleasure is not growth. Pleasure is not lots of things that you think you can gain all that criterias and wonderful things in life through more and more pleasure. And that's exactly why, if that is your intention to gain from a relationship, and you focus on the pleasure of it all, physical and everything else, the imagery and everything else, you will see that that pleasure is not going to bring you all what you're looking for, and then you think the relationship is not working. But you were trying to bond in the relationship, bring happiness and satisfaction and elevation and advancement in the relationship by pleasure, constantly. The couples who are not happy, let's go to a restaurant, let's go dancing, let's go disco, let's go on a trip. But it will always be the same no matter what you're doing, because these are just pleasures. They're funs. They have nothing to do with you two actually being compatible and understanding each other's psyche, consciousness. Everywhere you go on, even on trip, you're still carrying you with you. It's not like you leave you with you and you have a better you when you travel, or you have a better you when you actually go to a party, or you have a better you when you go to a disco, or you have a better you when you go to a dinner restaurant, or better you go to a movie. You're still the same person. If you haven't focused on each other's consciousness and bonding on that level, the pleasure, no matter how much you have in that relationship, will not bring smarts, intelligence, bonding, or happiness, or anything like that. That's why then you see, you become disappointed and you think relationship is not working. But it's not working because you're trying to make it work through something that never makes anything work. It just makes it look like that the time is passing without you being bored. And after a while you keep doing that, even that pleasure is not stopping you from being bored, because you've had it so often, and then eventually all pleasures will not make you, no pleasure will make you happy, because you've gone through so many different kind of pleasures and you eventually understood that none of them really brings you happiness. It's just another pleasure. Then you will stop wanting to have pleasure either. Then you become depressed. Then you become all this, all because you were trying to bring happiness and know how about life and negotiate life through pleasure, and trying to leave it to the other partner to bring all these contentment, happiness, satisfaction, and so on, to feel good about yourself in a relationship or through a relationship, not through yourself and on your own merit and efforts. So on that note, you need no closure. The closure is already the fact that it didn't work. Hallelujah. Go on and find somebody else that you will be able to have a good relationship with, based on you've always found happiness already, both of you, and then you come to a relationship, try to get to know each other and build something together on a reality, an actuality of life, not on imageries and become more and pretend and pleasure and all that bullshit that really has no reality to it. It just comes and goes, a feeling that is created, but there's nothing for you to build on. So focus on learning about yourself, your consciousness, and each other's conscious, bond on that level. You'll have a better chance, and no need for closure when you've already seen things just didn't work out. No big deal. Verstehen Sie? I hope so. Boy, that was a question that got me going. That was a long talk, wasn't it? Are you guys still there or sleeping? So, now, guys, until I get my bearings and have a cup of this, please do like the stream before you forget. All right, now Lottie says, let's see what Wesley says, if he has got anything to say before we end this. Leslie says, Mehran, your words are so powerful. Thank you very much. I will book a phone session in the near future. I love you, man. I love you too. I love all of you. And yes, go through the site mind-that-seeks-truth.com and click on Talk to Me for consultation and see the packages. And as I mentioned, for a short while, anybody who gets up to 1 hour of consultation, I will double that from 1.5 to 2 hours, depending on where we are in our conversation. I don't usually run by minutes, so therefore I want to make sure that the conversation comes to fruition and is beneficial before we end the session. So if you get a half an hour, you get an hour, you get 15 minutes, you get half an hour, and you get an hour, you get about 2 hours. So as long that lasts, you guys, I look forward to have a chat with you guys and explore what is going through your mind and concerns you. Now, let's getting back to where we left off. Lottie says, I like it when you make the short videos of a question from the live talks. Yeah. Takes lots of time though, Lottie. You guys, I hope, I mean, it's not about you appreciate it or not, but it just simply, there's a lot more videos that I haven't been able to do it. Like if I do all the videos that is left, that I haven't done, all the live talks that is left to be done, to be trimmed in one question, one answer, it'll be another 1,000 videos, I think. At least another 500 videos or 1,000 videos. Right now we're just approaching 1,000 videos. And we have already another, I think another 100 already in the pikes that I've trimmed for you guys, that they're amazing. Actually this channel, I have to tell you, I mean, I'm proud of it because it's taken along, but it's different than any other, I think, channels out there. Not just in content, that's for sure. I'm not even comparing these contents with whatever else is out there. But the fact that we have turned every question and answer to one specific title of a video, so when people do search, whatever is in their mind, whatever goes through their mind after they break up, whatever they feel, they just put that in the search engine of my channel. A bunch of videos will come up. Pretty much almost anything. And that, I think, is a good service. It helps people to kind of get a quick answer. And the live talks, the long ones, are still there as well. If they want to watch the whole thing and do their things and listen to all these questions and answers, it's all there too as well. So I'm delighted that you guys are enjoying it, because I think this channel eventually, as slow as it's moving like a turtle, eventually I think it will have it will reach the number of people that we want it to reach, and the subscribers will go on, and it will be providing a good service to people. That's what I think, and that's what I'm hoping for. The ones who haven't seen our little TV ad that is coming up in Los Angeles, in one of the local TV stations, I've posted that commercial, which is in Farsi, but it has English write-ups on it too, so it will be apparent to what it is for. However, I've posted it on the Mind That Seeks Truth Facebook page, and you can go there and just check it out and see how you think and make a comment if you like. And so we hope that will start, and soon I will have a interview that will be arranged by a TV station in Los Angeles, and we hope to see how that goes. And if that goes well, then we may have maybe an hour show on TV for question and answer And that's how we can promote our channel and our live talks and so on and so forth. So, having said that, go on my Facebook page, Mind as Six Truth Author, or the books, either one, both of them is mine. And then watch the stuff that we have there, some, you know, selective videos of the channel is there, and also the commercial, 60-second commercial. And you may also want to comment on that, and that will help, again, ratings of the YouTube channel when you watch more of the videos, even on my Facebook page, because it would probably register as a viewer on YouTube. Now, so Lottie says, the questions from the live talks, thanks, I have listened to some in the past few days about the ego. It's a tricky topic to understand, and it's good to learn. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, Lottie. There is a playlist, I think if I'm not mistaken, there's a playlist on the channel called Ego, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, just write ego and see how many videos come with the topic of ego discussed in them. Bruno, hello Bruno. Bruno says hello from Brazil. Do you like coffee as well? No, Bruno. I like the smell of the coffee sometimes if it's really mild, a little bit, like when you pass a store or coffee place and you just whiff it. But I actually get uncomfortable when the coffee smell is strong and I'm sitting in that cafe and there's coffee all over. It just makes me a little buzzed and I don't like it. I like tea. Even tea, I don't drink black tea anymore, mostly herbal stuff, but I love tea anyhow. And he says, do you like coffee as well? And how can we stop thinking about the ex? Did the coffee have anything to do with the question? You just threw me off there. How can we stop? Well, again, and he says, I'm moving on, but I still think about my ex every day. How can I stop this? Why my brain does that? Well, listen, Bruno, go on my channel. There is a part 1 and part 2 of saying how to stop thinking about your ex, how to forget about your ex, something like that. And you will see there are lots of things coming up, and one of them is in 2 parts, which the first 6 minutes of part 1, the mic didn't work after I produced it. There was no sound, so I replaced that 6 minutes with part 2, and that became part 1, and then the part 1 became part 2. So you will find that the discussion on how to stop missing the ex, just go in, punch in how to stop missing your ex, how to stop thinking about you know, your ex, and then you will have a bunch of videos coming. I think that would be a more efficient way than, because I really don't remember how stuff I've covered in there, and right now it's a big big topic, so I think those videos will help out. Lottie says, why would anyone want different from trying to be kind? Well, the people who understand that don't want it, but there are some people who are not on the same resonance as you or many other people are, and simply they're still developing. Their brain is just, their understanding, their brain, their conditioning, their beliefs in a way of what is right, what is wrong, their whole system of compassion, their whole understanding of and connection with the universe, with nature, is all different. Some people are simply just locked in their heads, and they think that what they see, what they think, can be materialized through violence, through selfishness, through anger, through unkindness, through manipulation, because these are all their shortcomings. You know, human being is not really advanced. It's just still trying to learn, but we keep copying and revolving around the same pattern of learning nothing and trying to force things through, and being unkind to each other and think that we want to be more, and by manipulating somebody we have proved that we are more. It's all bullshit thinking. Comes from an idiot mind who thinks by using and destroying and manipulating others, they actually become more, which that may be true in some people's mind when they're focusing on what other people are getting away with and what manipulation is happening to them, instead of focusing on where these manipulations are coming from, the source of it. And then they see that the source is actually unworthy, very below standard. But when there are words that is being told to us, to you, and you take that through your image and your ego, and you feel belittled, it's because of the meaning that the word has, that you're focusing on it, and you feel upset and belittled, disrespected. Because the words have meanings, the words have power, and those meanings have been set in dictionaries, and you have accepted that that's what that word intends and means. And that's what you're focusing on. That's why you get affected, and therefore you believe the meaning of the word, because the words have meaning, and you get disrespected. You think it's true. You get demeaned. You get you feel demeaned, and that affects you. But instead, you should focus where the source of this word was, not the meaning of the word, because the meaning of the word is credible. That's the meaning of it, but that doesn't mean that meaning pertains to you. You're thinking because the word, the sentence meant and means what it means, that's proven, that's what that word, sentence means. You think because you accept the fact that that's what that sentence word means, that also means you are this, and it pertains to you, and it is a description of you, because that's what the sentence means, because that's what you're focusing on. You should take your focus away from the meaning of a sentence or something that is uttered, a disrespectful comment or opinion about you, and focus on where is the source of that sentence, where was it uttered from. When you focus on that person, that source, then you'll see that's a piece of shit. So it's totally has nothing to, it cannot be represented. And that means it's not valued at all. So anytime you're being bothered by a bully or bad words or demeaning or disrespectful opinion or interaction, don't focus on what's being said. Focus on who's saying it. And then when you look at that person's character, what he is, the fact that he's saying all these stupid things means that this person is of low quality, low class, lack of kindness. It's got problems, it's got issues, that's why it's expressing it through anger. It's got fears, that's why it sees you as an intimidation, and tries to cover that up and try to swim up to come to bring his head out of the shithole that he is in, and thinks that by uttering these words to demean you, that can be achieved, because he's been conditioned to be more, and that's the only way he knows how to be more. And when you see all that, you will see that those words will not affect you anymore, because you're focusing on the source of where the words came from, not the meaning of the words. And then you'll be free from they actually affect you in any negative way, because you feel pity for the garbage who's actually uttering that. Because look, even if you listen to a recording message on somewhere or on a computer program, and the sentences are demeaning or disrespectful, it affects you, even though you know it's just not a person. So it means it's the word and the sense, meaning of the word in the sentence that you're focusing on, that affects you. But if you put that aside and focus on where it's coming from a computer, well, the hell with that. So you focus on it's coming from an asshole. It's coming from someone who's got no way of knowing what life is all about, how to be respectful and classy and be a normal member of the society and behave normal and rational. Then you will say, well, it doesn't affect me coming from that source. So focus on the source and you will be able to tolerate most of these nonsense better. Excalibur says, Hola Mehran, hola Excalibur, ¿cómo estáis? It's been a while, haha, yes, I've missed your live talks and the usual people around here. I was traveling very far away and it felt great. Oh, good, so you were on a vacation of some sort. Good for you. Hope that you enjoyed your time and you learned something in that interaction with the place, a place other than where you were used to. Met some good people. Lottie says, I know though sometimes different people think different things are kind than I do. Different things are kinder than I do. How should there be a compromise of different kind of ideas? A little bit more clarity on that. I think I explained that you know, but this is a different question, I think. How should there be the compromise of different ideas? Let me read that again. I know though sometimes different people think different things. Different people think different things are kind than I do. Oh, I see. Although sometimes different people think different things are kind than I do. How should there be a compromise? Well, you know, that's you know, again, that depends on. There are certain things that really is, you know, no big deal. Like you're conditioned to like a certain food, and they're conditioned to like a different kind of food. So they call their food good. You call your food good. You call their food not good and tasty. They call your food not good and tasty. These are all just have no harm. People have different tastes. Some people have an opinion of a certain movie or certain place for vacation or certain activity, and you don't like them, or they don't like what you do and you like something else. These are different opinions and they have no harm. But there are things that is clear according to the level of civilization that we have, and according to considering the safety and the compatibility with affecting the community you're living in a positive way. Then that is clear what is wrong, what is right. If someone likes to dip his piece of bread in dog shit and eat it, well, everybody knows that's not acceptable. So it's not about being different. Some things that are different is okay. It's okay for the person who's doing it and is not harming to anybody else. But some things that seems to be different and is bringing harm to the people other than the person that is involved in doing whatever it is that is doing, then that is obviously not acceptable. And you don't have to look at it as, well, it's okay to them, but it's not okay to me, but that doesn't mean it's bad, because what's okay to me may not be okay to them, and what's okay to them may not be okay to me. No, some things are like that, but some things are very clear. If somebody comes and starts cussing and screaming and creating fear to people, well, that's not okay. It doesn't mean that, well, he thinks that's interacting and communicating with people. No, that's against how we actually all feel a proper resonance of a frequency or a energy exchange, and that affects us negatively. So just because you think differently, that doesn't justify that what you're thinking is actually okay, even though you may not like it. No, it may actually not be okay, and you don't like it. It depends on what it is, you know? Not just saying, oh, something that is I don't like, some people like. Some people that I like, some people don't like, so that makes it okay because people are different. No. Some things, yes. The personal taste, you know, what kind of car you want to drive, where you want to go to eat, what you want to eat. But, you know, taking your pants off in the middle of the street, well, that's not okay. It doesn't mean just because you feel comfortable to do that, doesn't mean it's okay with the other people who actually are not accustomed to this, and they don't find that something that everybody would agree on it. You know, you gotta you know, use your intelligence to see up to what level it's tolerable that some people think something is kind or not. It's not up to us. It's up to its reasonability, feasibility, its actuality, not our illusion. You know, I may just think, okay, I stick this thing into my arm and I'm okay, I'm enjoying it. But if I do it to somebody else, well, that's no longer about what I think of this is. It's actually not right. You know, if I slap somebody, okay, you know, I enjoy doing that. It's my way of saying, you know, I'm kind. These sort of things becomes a little bit stupid, right? So there's a limit to it. I'm a little exaggerating, I know, but you know, I'm trying to bring your attention to the fact that some things, yes, it could be kind while you don't think it's kind, but you know, that person is actually, but it's very obvious what things are kind in the reality, actuality of it, and what things are just the shortcomings of that person in their behavior and interaction with others. All right. Lottie says, sometimes I worry, maybe I just want kindness in my heart or ego. Lottie, help me with understanding your sentences a little bit more, because sometimes I worry, maybe I just want kindness in my heart or ego. Or you want kindness in your heart or ego. The heart and ego don't come together in one sentence. I'm not sure. Are you saying that you want kindness for your ego or to feel good? But I'm too stupid in the reality to make my kind love things come true. How do I know if I'm doing well in reality? I'm trying to decipher your question. Lottie, I need your help in putting these sentences in a way that I can actually understand the question rather than guessing it. But I'm too stupid in the reality to make my kindness love things come true. How do I know I'm doing well in reality? Are you saying, how do you know that you're actually being kind to people? Or your kindness is actually kindness to them as well? Rather than you think it's kindness, but it really is not? I need a little bit of help here, Lottie. Excalibur says, Mehran, as usual, with the 5-hour answer. Lol. Yes, I know. But hey, look, I don't cut corners. Steve Harvey, pleasure is temporary, as is everything on this world we live in. Yeah. Excalibur says, here we go, Mehran, talking about pleasure for 20 hours now. Yes. These are things that we need to be, clear in its distinction, and not to be fooled by wasting our life focusing on pleasure only. Pleasure is part of life. It's not supposed to become the reason for life. Alper, hello Alper. Alper says, based on the past 10 or so minutes, this will be one of those fundamental videos. Okay. Yeah, I kind of think that we sometimes get questions that I just can't let it go, and I gotta explore it as much as possibly I can. And sometimes it takes a long answer, guys, and I hope that you guys are prepared for that. because as you all know, this is no ordinary channel that would just mask things and tries to bullshit things through. We like to explore things together. We want to explore things, figure out things, and see how this thing can be more of a clarity to us than a problem maker, encouraging us to go through an illusory state of mind. Lottie says, so if I manage to get a very strong positive energy, I will make happiness around because I have a greater force than the weakly negative person. And the results may be a happy day for everyone there. Well, as we talked about before, when the two rivers get to come to head to each other, the one that has a stronger flow will overcome the smaller river and affect the redirection of that energy that that little river was bringing. Same thing. When you have a good energy and strong flow of positive energy flowing outwardly, hardly the little shitty negative comments or the energy extended from the other people towards you will affect you, because you've got this more powerful energy extended, which that comes from learning how to meditate, to actually increase this exchange and conflux with the energy of the universe, so you have a natural energy flow flowing from you while you encountering others or negotiating your day-to-day life with people and with tasks that you're facing with, and that all becomes handy in the quality of your life and how you endure what it is that you'll be facing with. So that is something that you might want to take into consideration. And it's not really about you want to have this energy so the others will be happy. It's basically about to affecting the area, the community, the nature, the where you are in a positive way, so that positivity not just affects the other, it also cleans up the environment for you. In other words, it makes things more palatable as far as you're interacting with it. In other words, it kind of paves the road for you for whatever it is that you want to accomplish there, whether it's negotiating in business, or whether it's about shopping, or whether it is about pleasantry that you create by your energy walking in. It's not about what you say, it's about that energy that flows through all of us, and you're able to extend it, control it, direct it, and kind of help that environment where you're in to feel positive, which affects the other people who are involved in that whatever endeavor is, and you will get a better result. Everybody would be more relaxed, focused, you will be more as well, and then the result could be to your advantage because you're the one emanating this energy. This is a little bit away from what the topic may be, but that is what it is. Perhaps one thing I can respond to this question here. But there's a lot more to it that we don't need to go into it right now. That's a whole different topic and discussion, which hopefully one day when I have possibilities to show you some stuff about this whole mind and body coordination and the effect of mind power and the energy of the nature into our daily life, and how it actually incorporates that in there and is the big part of the whole thing, because energy is what we are, energy is what we are interacting with each other, and it's all about energy, feelings, emotions, and so the whole depression and anxiety and everything else is all about the level of energy and how the energy is actually being extended and absorbed and used to negotiate life, and how it affects our mood and everybody else. It's all about energy. So it is important for us to learn it. So sometimes when I get in there, don't be spooked. That's really what it is. It's part of the actual reality of life. Energy is pure. And you want to be with the present moment, because that's where the energy is flowing. When you're in your memory, there is no energy flowing, because your mind has been separated from where the energy is. you will become oblivious of the energy. That's why it's always good to be with the moment, to feel the energy that is flowing at that moment, not remembering the energy that is actually dead in your memory. Is no longer energy, it's just the imprint, a pictorial image of the energy that it was there, but it's not a real energy, it's an imprint, recording of an energy. That's why you get affected. If you can understand that, then the memory that brings you a certain feeling, you will not take it seriously, because that energy, there's no energy in that, what you're feeling. It's just the memory, the imprint of the video, the emotion that was recorded. That's a recorded emotion that you're feeling again. It's not the real energy of the emotion that is happening at the moment, because that only exists in the moment that you are living and your things are happening. The happening is in the now. That's why you always want to know. That's where the real fresh energy is, when you're one with the nature, and that only happens when you're one with the moment, with the now, not in your memory, with the actuality of life. That benefits you in many different ways, including bring you a fresher energy to have conflux with the universe and the nature's energy. Okay, now that I've spooked everybody up, Sandy says, absolutely loved your talk on pleasure and image. It all makes sense to me. Delighted, Sandy. Glad that you're enjoying it. Kalani says, my brother, man. Hello, Kalani, dear. How are you? Hope you're having a good day in fantastic paradise, Hawaii. Hope everything is good in Kilo. In Hilo, I think. Where in the Hawaii island, the big island, the volcano activity, I hope it's reduced and things getting back to normal. Olga says, hi, I'm here on Words. I love tea. Yes, how are you? Hello, Olga. Kako Vestila. Hope you're doing well. David, let me remember. 23 Texas. Let me see. There we go. I remember now. David, the late but loyal cowboy, is here again. Hee-haw! Good to see you here, David. Always welcome. And Wesley says, Mehran, do you think everything in life happens for a reason? Or is it just the crowd, the coward version to segregate his problem? Oh, it's not coward version, and definitely, of course, many things happen out of your control for the same reason that you were not in control when you were born on this earth. How could you then think that everything is all because of you make it happen? Were you making your birth happen? Were you making your mom and dad actually? Do you have anything to do with them meeting or them actually enjoying each other, being intimate, and then producing you? Did you have anything to do with that? It didn't. It happened for the outside sources, whether because of your parents or whether the design of it, however it was, you had nothing to do with it. So if something can happen to you without you having anything to do with it, then other things can also be happening for the reasons that's beyond you. I believe that. There is a certain kind of an energy, entity, and not in a way that we think, but there is an intelligence of some kind that energy flows through. All these laws of physics and quantum mechanics and all these other things, they have a law, they have a way, a pattern, the way they are put together to function and act and react. So where does that intelligence come from? I don't know, but there is an intelligence, a system of some kind, right? Therefore, things happen without you directly being involved, as it happens in science, but you have nothing to do with it. So if you can see that things that are happening for the reasons that we just talked about, that they have their own system and wisdom and intelligence and the way they are just being designed, their function, and therefore they bring about the certain things that happens without you having anything to do with it. So therefore, obviously, there is possibility as many other things could happen that you wouldn't have anything to do with it. Often in my life and other people's lives, I have seen that they wanted to stick to something, to keep something going. And no matter how much they tried, it didn't. And sure enough, it broke off. And eventually, later on, years or months later on, they saw, oh my goodness, that's why. If that wouldn't have broken off, I would have never been able to find this island, this beauty, this wonder, this advancement, this contentment, this learning, this lesson, this wisdom, this experience. It just is. So, yes, some things happen for the reasons beyond my understanding. And even if I try to understand them, often it's futile. I won't, because I am not in the dimension to see things the way that it could be seen. I can only see it and understand and feel it the way that I am designed. And until I reach a certain level, maybe I'm limited to only see what's in the dimensions that I am capable of. It's like saying I have this binoculars and I see it and it's, oh wow, everything is so close, everything is so wonderful. And then time of the day passes and becomes nighttime, and same binocular, as strong as it was, I can't see a thing through it. And then I say, well, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I can't see anything. There's nothing there. Unless I change this binocular to a night vision goggle. Suddenly, things that I couldn't see in that one, it's wow, there's lots of things. There's a fish, there's a whale there, there's people there, there's something happening there. Or there's, I don't know, lava is coming, I couldn't see. So does that mean that they weren't happening? They were happening. I couldn't see it because I didn't have the right apparatus. Now, the same thing I could say in a way that there are things that I can't understand or I can't see or I can't describe or I can't know even if it's there or why things are happening, because that is the dimension that that's the equipment that I am. Those are the equipments that I'm equipped with. That's my limitations or my abilities, extent of my abilities. But that doesn't mean it's all the abilities or all the equipments I could have in order to see what is really out there. The dimension that I can see things and understand things and negotiate and interact with is the dimension that I'm designed, or I'm at the level that I am. Maybe I can be at a different level. Maybe I could understand a little bit more. Just like when you're in a lower class, you're going through your studies in high school, you can only understand so much, even though there's a lot more sophisticated algebra and calculus and scientific formulas and findings, but I can't comprehend it at the level and the classroom that I am, until I learn this and the next class and next class, and then maybe the stuff that I could not even fathom become clear to me, because I've taken these steps and prepared myself for understanding of this, year 4 of the university in mathematics, which it was always there and it was always true. It was always working the way it should work, but I just weren't in a place to understand it. So therefore I said, no, there is no way nothing else other than what I understand in this formula exists, because that was my dimension of understanding, my education, my level of understanding. But as the time went and I became more proficient in understanding and learning other courses and other levels of the same subject, then eventually I got to the level of maybe 4th grade or in 4th year in university, where that other version of the formula and things were being taught and I could understand. So the understanding and knowledge is there. I may not be where I could see it or understand it, and it could be right here, but I am limited to my knowledge. Knowledge is always limited. So it'll be foolish to think that what we know is all there is out there, and what we are capable of is all the capabilities, and what we see is only because we see it, or what is there is only because what we see it, and if we don't see it, it's not there. These are all kind of limiting, which in the world that we know so much about now, it's not likely that the knowledge or existence is limited to our version of understanding, our limited way of understanding. So always leave a little bit room for things that might be out there that we could hope to learn, become aware of it someday. I hope that answered your question, Wesley. I know where you're going with it, but I went a little bit further into philosophy of it, but I know you just want to be consoled of the breakup and to attribute what's happened to the unknown reasons for it. With that too is actually possibly correct. Could be part of it for sure. David says, thank you, Mehran. You're welcome. Elhad says, is having sex more than just a physical experience? Does it affect us in other ways other than just the physical pleasure? Of course it does. You know, when two people have consented sex, they're adult legal age and they like each other and they, you know, agree to have sex, and when they actually enjoy intimacy, it brings a different resonation. It tunes you up and makes things become complete in the rhythm of life. It's part of the tuning up. It's part of what's necessary. Emotional expansion, emotional experience, which resonates through the physical body, and this non-physical exchange of energy, which is exchange of energy. This non-physical emotion. It's not like just the emotion of touch that we're talking about. What actually is created, the feeling, that is actually invisible and not about the feeling of touch. The overall feeling that is created in you through intimacy, it actually resonates through tuning up the whole system in the ways that is actually very beneficial. As we know, actually through sex, growth hormones are also encouraged, which that itself is about youth and longevity and so on. So there are benefits beyond the actual pleasure, that some of them are medical and some of them are just about the resonance and tuning in and the relaxation and creating that state of calmness in the mind, the imperceptible decreasing ripples of the mind that is created through the arriving to that climax, which is not just the pleasure physically, it also affects many different things in our coordination between mind and body, that tunes up things and makes us to become that much more aware and moving towards a little bit higher level of balance, which actually affects all our life. You know, people have trouble negotiating life because they're not balanced, and there are many things we got to do to be balanced. You know, education, kindness, love, compassion, meditation, and all that. And also sex is also another part that it helps to bring that balance that we all need to, you know, is needed for anything that we do in life. And yes, other than the physical benefits, there are other benefits through real intimacy between two people who love each other, like each other, and agree to be intimate when they are in the adult legal age. Uh, so, Olga says, sometimes when I try to understand what I want in life, I imagine doing it, and very soon I feel like, oh, no, it's not mine. How to distinguish the real desire from a thought that is in my desire? Give me an example, Olga. Because, you know, somehow, whether it's me or how it is, I can go on different tangents of a topic, and I need to know exactly which direction is it that you want this. Your question is headed. I read it again. Sometimes when I try to understand what I want in life, I imagine doing it, and very soon I feel like, oh no, it's not mine. How to distinguish the real desire from a thought that it is in my desire? Well, when you envision something you want to do in life and start doing it in your mind, and then you see, well, no, I don't enjoy it, because now you're thinking about it, and the thinking brings pictorials, and those pictorials brings emotions and an image of you doing that, then you'll see that it's not compatible to you. It doesn't make you feel good. So naturally, that's a good way for you to see, well, that's not me. I don't want to do that. I don't want to, you know, do that kind of a project or whatever it is. And if you actually feel like, oh yeah, I can do this, and then I can do then you just expanded in your envisioning it, and that tells you that it is something that you would want to do. But it depends on what it is, because I'm not sure if it's something that you want to do in life as something you want to accomplish, or is it part of your desire, because you brought the word desire in there. Desire itself has different stages of progression and how it is born, and that's a different subject. So if you clarify that question and pinpoint it, what is that project you're talking about? Is it the lifestyle? Is it projects? Is it something you want to learn or accomplish? Is it a job? Is it something you hope to build out of your life, or that's the direction you want to travel and experience in that? Or is it a desire for pleasure, or is it desire for, because desire, again, I desire to go build that porch that is broken. And that's not a desire. That's something you think you're responsible to do, and it's good to do for safety and for, you know, nice look at the yard or whatnot, so forth. So the word desire is not really meaning what it's designed, what it's supposed to mean in the philosophical or in the expression of or exchange of topic discussion of psychology or the psyche, or, you know, what actually desire, fear, ego, thought, and consciousness is what we're talking about. So help me out here again, if you will. Wesley says, the thought about my parents having sex is disturbing me. But you are so right again. It shouldn't disturb you. The thought of you being alive, does it disturb you? For that, your mom and dad had fun and had to have been enjoying being intimate with each other. So it's like saying the thought of having this peach being, you know, the result of a seed being put into dirt and the fingers getting dirty and all that, and the fertilizing putting there, the thought of it is bothering you. The thought of having the peach bothers you? No. So for the peach to have been there for you, the sweet peach, to enjoy and get nourishment from it, the seed had to be planted in the dirt, and the fertilizer and so on should have been there in order for this tree to become what it is, so you can have the peach. But that's really different, because there's no really dirt or fertilizer when there's sex happening. So I'm not sure if it really was, but you know, you get the gist of it. It can be disturbing, because how come it's not disturbing when you're having sex? Now suddenly your parents, but I understand what you're saying. But go beyond that. You know, they were you before they become them. Poor things. They also were young one day. Paul says, hello, Mehran. Hello, Paul. says, have a good day, and you too. Steve says, Mehran, sir, have you got a video on meditation and how to go about it? Yes, there is a video. Actually, there is in my book, Me, My Psyche and I. If you go on my site, mindthatsextruth.com, and click on the books and the Me, My Psyche and I, from chapter 32, I think, to chapter 40, it's all about mind. And there is a clear instruction for meditation and elaborate meditation there. It's all steps how to do it. It's all there. And so you can read the meditation part and you can understand where the chapter says mind needs a home, and the actual meditation, it's the instruction is there. I've made sure that it's clear for anybody who wants to meditate. There is meditation tapes that I did 23 years ago, and they used to be sold in all the stores here. I had a certain marketing way of doing it, and those are kind of not high quality tapes. It was like with the budget and possibility of 23 years ago. So it was made, and I paid for the little Japanese koto music to the studio that they were taping it, and they said you got to pay this much because we got to pay royalty for the music. So I did, but then when I uploaded it on YouTube, it came out flagged, and they put a monetizing on it for the company who said, oh, that's our music. Well, for God's sake, I paid for it. But 23 years ago, you know, the studio doesn't even exist anymore to get some kind of a confirmation from them. Anyhow, but it's still there. So I left it there. And it's called, if you go through my playlist or through the search engine of my channel and just put meditation, it should come in. I think there are positive powers of meditation, mind and body coordination. It's, I think, one of them. And there is breathing exercise, and there is concentration meditation. They're a little different than the one that I have explained and give instructions in my book, Me, My Psyche and I, because you know, when you're a student of something after years, and I taught this for 35 years or more after I finished university, and so through years a student learns things and develops and expands this. So the meditation that I am doing and talking about in those tapes are the way that it was taught to me through the university time when I was learning it. But then the one in the book is the way I advanced it toward a different version, different movement of it, the concentration meditation, and also the breathing meditation. So everybody expands on things that they learn. So it's a little different, but still there are two videos, two tapes. Actually, you don't see me there. It's just my voice that is telling you how to do it, both in the concentration meditation and the breathing exercise. There are two types of meditation that I have the videos, but they're just pictures, passing pictures, but the sound and the music is describing what to do and how it's done. So eventually someday when I have you know, there are more funds and more time available, maybe I will then do a meditation with you guys live, and then you know, when I would be sitting Seiza and then doing it right there live, that would be different. And then after that we can see how we feel, all of us. Michael says, hi Mehran. Hello Michael. You like peach, huh? Wesley said, one last quick question. Would you ever go back to an ex, or is it better to find someone else? It's always better to find someone else, because why did it become ex? Because it didn't work. It's not like the first sign of trouble you guys abandoned ship. You guys tried and tried again and tried again, and you know, compromised or talked about it, and it didn't work out, or didn't want to talk about it. So eventually there was no way to resolve anything. And then it became X. That's why you call X. And when it becomes X, that means you already tried and it doesn't work. So why you want to keep, doing what? What do you want to get out of it? That consciousness is not trying to communicate with yours. Let it go. There's somebody else. Why you have to be so dogmatic on this one person? What's so special about her? What? Other than the sex that you liked, or other than the image that you thought you like about you being in that relationship in your mind about you, what else is there? Why some other woman could not be same or better than this relationship for you? And remember, you may not even want this type of a consciousness that this girl had later on, because you are also evolving. As you grow, your consciousness, your conditioning, the things that you understand will change in your consciousness. Therefore, the reaction to the things in life and expectations of you will change. Therefore, that one of those would result in the fact that you want a different type of interaction with a girl, a different type of a woman, different type of a consciousness, which this girl wasn't at all, even if you like her now. But later, because you dynamically change as well, you may not even find her to meet your standards anymore, because she meets your standards of today. And if that today doesn't work, there's a good chance that when you advance even further and she changes as well through life, then it would always start to be going different directions from each other and falls apart. And you may not even like her, even if you were with her 2 years from now or a year from now. So, sometimes you might, if you have children and, you want to try to get back to each other, and you guys come to your sense and understand that it's really the difference between this and that, if you have children, is only just aesthetics maybe, or the image that you create, or the provisions that the other person could bring about, or some novelty about it. Otherwise, the same challenge, the problem is going to be the same. The fact, but all you've done is that you severed the relationship, that it was, it was a family center, and the children would be feeling more, safe and secure in their mind, and it would be more stable and balanced. But if you don't have children, just move on. If you do have children, you tried and it still doesn't work, then you have to move on. You move on. It's not a big deal. Don't make too big a deal out of it. It's not what it seems. Later on you will see, it wasn't worth really spending that much of a emotion on it. So what? You'll find somebody else and you'll see, wow, even so much better, because you've grown and you know exactly what you want, and then you look precisely, specifically for what you hope for, and to meet your standards better for the one that you think is more compatible to you. Lottie says, Leslie says, is it ever smart to run after a person who kicked you out of the... Of course not. Have respect for yourself. Get off your ass and go find other girls and enjoy getting to know them, become friends with them, socialize with good, positive people, take care of yourself, go to the gym if you're healthy, and do, exercise to your fitness level, and learn the things you want to learn, accomplish the things you want to learn, bring that confidence that you want, and through that you will emanate a different energy, and different energy will bring different quality of people attracted to you, and then you will find the girl that you would be probably more satisfied and pleased to get to know. And you have more to offer to that new girl. So move on. Don't linger. Don't think about it too much. You won't even remember it later on. Lotte says, in history, many people have been forced to be cruel. I don't think people have been forced to be cruel. They're just bloody cruel. Or maybe it's been, cruelty has been done to them and they have learned and conditioned, or become vengeful or somehow negative, and they became cruel as well. Yeah, that's maybe true too. Maybe which are good examples of people being forced to be kind. But again, people are not forced to be kind. It's just this word force doesn't work. I mean, you can never be forced to be kind. Be kind to that person or kill you. I mean, that's the way you're talking about being forced Be forced to that kind person, to that, be kind to that person, otherwise, you won't have food. And that's being forced to be kind. But kindness doesn't come from being forced to. Kindness is something you want to do voluntarily. You want to do. If you're forced to do something good for someone by force, you're not being kind. You're just being manipulated, or find it that you have to do it, otherwise you get harmed. That's bad stuff. And that's not that you're forced to be kind, because nobody can really be kind while being forced, because that's not kindness anymore. That's an action that is resulted from being pushed or forced to do, So, being forced to be cruel, no, you can't give the responsibility of cruelty to somebody else but the person who's doing the cruelty. So let's keep the responsibility where it's supposed to be. It's like saying all these countries that are really killing each other, bombing each other, they're forced to do that. No, they're not really. Some maybe are in self-defense, but many of them are just bullies. They're just killing each other because they want something else. They want resources of that country. They want to control that region, all that thing. So it's all different. So I don't think we can take the responsibility of someone who's being cruel, whether on a small level or bigger level, and export it to somebody else or something else. A person or a nation is cruel, they're cruel because they simply don't know better, or they should be helped to know better. And the person who is being kind is kind because they want to be kind. That's their lifestyle, their philosophy. That's what they think is the best way to negotiate life. Olga says, I used to draw and I studied graphic designs for 6 years, but right now I don't enjoy it, especially drawing. And it saddens me so much, because people always told me I have even talent, but I feel nothing. Maybe because you became good at it because you wanted to make money from it. And if that was the only motivation and you didn't make money off of it, then you would not want to do it, because your motivation to doing it was money, not your interest and enjoyment. Try to make your money from something else, whatever job you have, and then see if you want to do this for fun, for your pleasure, something to create, something that you like to envision and bring to paper, and see how you can do it. And if you enjoy doing it for the reasons other than economic reasons, that might kind of motivate you. Or you may actually be motivated thinking that I'm going to create something so beautiful that I'm going to sell it and make money off it. That again could be a different kind of encouragement. So see which one of that grabs you better, and see maybe you can use that. Amritpal says it's good to be independent than suffering cause of some else stupidness. Yeah, sure. I think I understand. It's good to be independent than suffering cause of someone. Yeah, it's good to be on your own and follow your own path and live your life, instead of thinking that your happiness would be dependent on somebody else actually wanting you or want to be with you and so on, which that means, if they change their mind, then you'll be suffering. So make yourself independent of those, and then you will just be interested in the ones who are also interested in you, not the ones who don't want to be with you. That perhaps is what you're trying to say. Olga says, I would love to love it. I would love to do it, but without enjoyment, how? I don't see how. Olga says, money are not and never was a motivation. I want pleasure. Then focus on what it is that you want to draw, not the drawing. Focus on actually what it is that you like in life, that you want to preserve that. And focusing on that, your way of preserving it is to draw it. So preserving would become your fun, your motivation. Drawing becomes your tool. So instead of doing the process, trying to say that you should love and enjoy the process of drawing. Focus on enjoying and loving the process of reflecting, preserving that what it is that you love, whatever it is, a peach, a scenery, a tennis court or tennis racket, a ball in motion, a horse. That's what you like. So preserving it could give you pleasure and encouragement, and drawing could be a way to bring that, what you want to preserve, to existence, and as a tool to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish, which is bringing to life or preservation or imprint of something that you love to have and to see and enjoy the pleasure of having it in your room. And then the drawing is the tool that brings about fruition to what it is that you want to accomplish. Maybe that will be something. Instead of focusing on the drawing to be the pleasure, focus on the actual, what you want to create is the pleasure. The preservation of something, or the reflection, imprint, creation of a pictorial, a model of something that you like to resonate with you whenever you look at it. Maybe that could be the pleasure. Okay guys, looks like that I have caught up with all the questions, so I want to thank you for being here. And before you guys leave me, please press on like, and again share the videos that you like on the channel. Enjoy the channel. There's lots of stuff in there. We're just, I think, hit over 1,000, and there are a bunch of stuff that is not released, but considering those, it will be over 1,000 videos now. And I hope that you will continue enjoying it, sharing it on your social media, and again, see if you've got connections to put some kind of a little news in other sites or some medium that you know of about our channel, to get us on the map and help us to grow and become more recognized. All right guys, have a wonderful day. Again, thank you for your time and being with me here, and be good to yourself, to the others, and I look forward to talk to you again. In the meantime, take good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.